This is the Steelmate TP-90 tire pressure monitoring system. I'm constantly freaked out about the prospect of my tires being no good, so I figured this would probably be a decent investment. And I'm going to install it on my 2015 Harley Ultra LImited. So let's open it up. And got a plastic cover. So this is the readout unit, front and rear pressure caps that mount on the valve stems. And this is presumably instructions and other pieces, parts, I guess. And it's a wired unit, powered unit, so we'll have to tap into that. But otherwise, let's get started. I've never removed the fairing off of the bike before, but I've watched numerous videos and it looks pretty straightforward. They say we take out the bolts here, leave the middle one because it'll hang from that while I get the ones around the back side. So let's remove the pieces, parts, and get ready to remove the fairing. Alright, here's almost all the bolts. These are the outer ones from the windshield. These are from behind there. These shorty guys are the lower bolts, and these long ones are the uppers. What's nice is they all use the same hex driver, or star driver, Torx driver, so that's handy. So I'm about to pull this one, which is another long one, and when this one comes out, then the whole thing should come forward, and then I'll be able to pull the power off of the headlight. That's the theory. I can't hardly believe it. It came out just fine. There's one connector there for the headlight, and there's the rest of everything else. I'll be back in a second. Yeah, so this is the headlight connector. Only goes this one way. This is, probably the antenna, the stock antenna lead. I had them put in a antenna in the fairing here, which is supposed to be better, so that's this. But this one is the old antenna. They just didn't remove it. So maybe while I'm here, I'll tie that up a little bit, make it a little cleaner. This is going to be the garage door opener that's hooked up to the light switch. And what I want to do, I want to tap into the power outlet. So if we look around the back here, we've got 12 volt power under here. Probably can't see it, but there's 12 volt power there, which is about here. So I may have to remove this unless this is it. I think that's actually it, yeah. So if I can tap the power for the tire pressure monitor system on here, then I think I'll be in good shape and we can get moving again. Let's take a look. Okay, so after a fair amount of wiggling and jiggling, I was able to pull this out, and you can see that we've got our positive and negatives there. And this should be switched. I'll test it in a second just to make sure, but this should be switched to the ignition so that so that the tire pressure is only active when the bike is on, and that's what I want. In case anybody's curious, that's what the back side of the lighter looks like, the power tap. And here we go. There. So I'll put the power cables for the tire pressure monitor system in there, and then run that out to the back of the bike somewhere, or to the console area at least. So next. So this is handy. So here's the gauge for the readout. You can see it's got one power cord come here, that goes to the connector here. And then at the other end, of course, is the positive and negative leads, which I'll get plugged in. But what's really nice is this little bit in the middle here. I can disconnect this and then just plug the hot wires in there and then button everything back up and only have to worry about this piece out the fairing. So that's really handy. And just so everybody knows what I'm talking about, is I've unscrewed it now, and it just comes apart. I can plug it in and screw it back on there nice and tight. But right now, all I have to worry about is this bit here, getting this connected to the power, and then getting this run out to someplace that makes sense. Nice. After that's done, then I can put the fairing back on and continue on with the process. Cool. Alright, so I hope that threading this power piece is the most difficult part of this. It may end up being, but I threaded it through here, right by the handlebars, but what I had to do is tie it to a couple of zip ties so that I could thread it through and pull it, and I think we're okay now, and we should have good ability to reach the power and still have enough left out on this side to be able to mount that thing anywhere I want. So let's keep going. Okay, so here I am. I'm just about to put the fairing back on, but I just want to review what I did. So I've got the hot spliced into the lighter here. I've got the ground up here on the this bolt here. Everything's good there. The wiring goes down around out the handlebars, here. And I've got the unit here. It's obviously not hooked up or anything, but you can see that when I turn it on, we got power. So that's a good sign. So I'm going to put the I'm going to put the fairing back on, the windshield back on. I'm going to button up the front, and then we'll focus on mounting that and getting the sensors out of the tires. Coming right along. All right, here it is all back together. Fairing on, windshield on, no extra pieces. All my pieces are accounted for. Everything's nice and tight, nice and snug, but not too tight. And then we'll do one final test. There we go. All right, now let's find a place to mount this sucker. Here? Maybe, I don't know. Oh, I'll come up with some place for it. I don't want it too obnoxious, but it's gotta still be visible. It's got this clamp on here that you're supposed to be able to mount it to a handlebar, right? Except I don't think there's any way that thing is gonna fit these fat Harley bars. So, I don't know. I'll come up with something. We'll be back. Oh yeah, back to this. Let's here's this box that we got. Let's take a look in here. So we've got pieces, parts, a little packet of candy. It says do not eat, I'm sure, because it's actually not candy. And finally the instructions, which is kind of a brochure, fold out style. Hang on a second. Yeah, here's the instructions. It goes all through mounting and wiring and programming and whatever. It is available online somewhere, so you may want to check that out. But anyway, that's what's in here. One of the things that you can do to mount it, though, it's got this double-sided sticky tape, and a different back. There's the different back. Here it is. Right? I think it's in there. Maybe not. But what you can do is, rather than mounting it on the handlebars like this, so you can just remove the handlebar mounting piece, and it's got a flush flat back, and then you use that mounting tape and stick it there, which is handy. God, I'm just terrible with the camera today. So you remove the handlebar mounting ring, use that sticky tape and stick it there, or stick it here or wherever. So that's probably what I'm going to do, but I'm going to take a little time and evaluate and come up with the right decision. The right decision for me, at least. But I'm really pleased at how quickly I was able to get the electrical stuff taken care of inside there. That was nice. So I think the next hardest part is going to actually be mounting the sensors. The front one won't be so bad, but the back, I'll have to remove the saddlebag and get up in there, and it's very crowded, so that'll be a drag. But other than that, we're coming right along. Okay, so before I mount that thing, I want to see it in action, because I think it's gonna light up and then blink and stuff like that, and could be annoying, so I might want to sort of hide it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is mount the sensors. So they say to take the valve stem cap off, and then it's got this little dust cap, so we'll put the dust cap on. And then it's got a lock nut, so I screw this on, and after the lock nut is on, then I screw this on until it doesn't move, and then I move the nut back that way with a tiny little wrench that they gave me, and that should lock it on there and keep it from falling off and all that kind of stuff. So let's do that. Okay, so here it is, mounted on there. You can see it. I think it's showing up better in the video than it does in real life. It's a little dark, but the thing is really light, so it shouldn't cause any troubles with wheel balance or anything like that. But one thing that they do say is that it only becomes active after you're driving like 12 miles an hour or something like that. Not exactly sure how or why that works, but I guess that's the way it goes. So I'll go and mount the other one on the back, and then we'll check out and see what we can see. Okay, so in case anybody doesn't know, this is how you remove the saddlebag on the 2015 Harley Ultra Limited and other models, I'm sure. Open saddlebag, you've got these little guys here. Just give it a twist, pull the pin, give it a twist, pull the pin, make sure you got it, because afterwards it'll just lift right off. And I can't do it with one hand, but trust us, it works. Oh. Okay, programming it was kind of a drag, but it seems to be going okay now. So now it's just a matter of mounting it. We'll find someplace to put it. And then we got to program it so that it alerts if I'm over or under or too hot or whatever. So we'll get that. I'll show that too. Alright, so I just got back from a ride, and this is really the best place I could come up with to put the monitor. You know, we thought about down here, but it would hit, or this wouldn't open. We thought about over here, but it didn't seem right. So this is really the best that we came up with. You can see that it's reading higher than it did previously because the tires are hot. How hot? 72 in the front, 91 in the back. Cool. And the other thing is you can check your battery. 12.7 volts. That's neat. So not too crazy about the wire here, so I may try to do something as far as run it up here and down and over, something like that. I don't know. It's okay. I'm not crazy about it blinking and flashing at me all the time. I wish it would just shut off or get super, super dim, or maybe just, you know, have the 2 green bars lit up to let me know it's working, and then have another button to actually start displaying information or something. I think that would probably be preferable. But it is what it is. You know, it works. It was certainly easy to install. So I guess that's it.